Srimati Ramanujaya Namaha. Today we are taking a subject in which we are going to analyze the book crisis. Unfortunately, we are analyzing crisis at the time of crisis. And according to the rule of analysis, at the time of rise and growth, at the time of flourishing and prosperity, one should analyze about the crisis and build measures for protection and withstanding. Just as a person's prevention of sickness is started by proper nutrition and physical management at the time of his well-being or semi-well-being, the study of crisis is very poor for any person, or it is very unusual as per the theory of logics that the crisis must be pondered upon the time where there is a hardcore crisis. This is the first rule. So, our learning about the crisis is totally not appropriate. It must have been learnt at the time of the so-called allurations of globalization, liberalization. Now it has been dealt very much about the great financial reforms of Manmohan Singh and B.B. We have to undergo very detailed study, scrutinized and organized study of the evils and ill effects of liberalization and globalization. Liberalization, who must do liberalization, when it must be done, what is the limit of liberalization is there. If something is overexposed, that's what I told. Economics is a predictable science unless it is intruded by any special events like war, unforeseen factors like war, any other genocide or mega nuclear clash or any other natural disaster which is in the form of oceanic or earthquake. So unless it is influenced by any artificial or natural disaster, the scale of economics is easily predictable. In the 1970s, a research group of the Rome Club, they did a very great research at the time of the so-called industrial revolution, there is green revolution, and various other traces of whatever we call as global marketing, global village, liberalization of economy, then liberalization in private sectors. Whenever these things are just now in boom, they started to bud and blossom in 1970s. At the time itself, a clear and a deeper research has been made by those people, and they authored a book known as Limits of Growth. So, we must not be limited, so we have to grow. This is what we infer. The first-hand information is, don't be limited, you must grow. The second information is, don't be just on growing like that, have a limitation. So, from limitation to growth is the first phase of transition. The growth must be sealed or nailed with a limit so that it will not interrupt the social harmony or it will not interrupt the economical harmony among the nations. So, limitation of growth is the second phase of economic development. Economy is not only just growing, it is not only the process of growing, just as nutrition or physical salubrity is not only eating, but also fasting whenever required. Likewise, economic development includes also economic fasting. Wherever we have to, it does not mean that we have to dry and starve due to illiteracy, malnutrition and foodlessness. It is not so. It is organizing and mobilizing the sectors in a practical manner that we are going to explain the tools of limiting economic growth. So there is a particular way of understanding these limitations. There is an interim period, just as for loans we used to call it as holiday period. There is an interim period wherein we have to restrict our movements. We have to diversify our movements. We have to act in a different way. Those things, there's a eco-behavioral status of human beings as well as generally the political system. That is a new science known as onto-economics, and it is to emerge. So anything that creates a new subject, any problem that creates a new subject, a new survey, a new search, a new solution. Likewise, now it is a time for all of us. The ontology of economics. Growing aimlessly, unilaterally is not growth. That is inflammation, which results in inflation, deflation, recession, and other economical disasters. Somebody listed it as a financial tsunami in the disaster congress. So likewise, these type of limitations, control, restrictions, stipulations, diversifications, and inertia must be brought in various areas. They are time oriented, discipline oriented, and goal oriented. It does not mean the total lacking of all systems for all periods in all dimensions. So this caliber must be developed. And if there is a seminar on onto-economics by which growth alone is not the criterion that has to design an economic development or well-being, that must be pondered upon. So crisis is something which is not instantaneous. So first of all, I have to clearly explain what is crisis. Then only I have to go to what is job crisis and how job crisis is the hub and nucleus of all crises in the world. So crisis number one. Crisis is not only lack of growth. Growth also unorganizedly, they result in crisis. And this is that type of growth which has produced that type of crisis. So lack of resources and non-availability producing growth is entirely different from what we are facing now. It does not mean that everybody is well grown. So I want to say the impact of the growth sector in the crisis is more than lack of growth, stagnation and economical debilitations in the nation and the world. Both have contributed, and the proportion of irrational, uneven, dissolving growth that exists in the society, that is a contributing factor for this crisis, number one. Number two, I have already told, crisis must be dealt in a non-critical aroma. That must not be decided at the time of crisis. Number two. Number three, crisis is not instantaneous. It slowly penetrates into the society. It enters as a guest, becomes our friend, then it B-levels to the level of our relative, becomes our wife, then becomes our knife, and ends our life. And this is the story of any problem in the society. Whatever you have seen in the form of crisis, they did not enter in the form of crisis. They entered only as a guest. And if you just reverberate in your mind the sounds and images of what I have told, you will clearly recognize each and every stage. I am appropriately quoting the relation or the grade of bondage between the crisis-making element and ourselves. It entered only as guest. Now it has become a crisis. So it is. These are all the golden rules of a crisis study. Crisis study that deals with various subjects: self-evaluation, status evaluation, immediate recognition, immediate execution, mediate execution, remote thinking, past thinking, present thinking, futuristic analysis, contemporary analysis, customized study, failure investigation, success assessment. Innumerable studies are there in crisis management study. So somebody should deal in that. So whatever the Prime Minister or the Finance Minister, everybody they are injecting hopes within themselves as well as others. If somebody is afraid, immediately the person may be afraid. In the pretext of consoling the other person, don't be afraid, there won't be nothing. So by saying that he is consoling himself, so he is taking a platform in which it appears to be consoling others, in which he is consoling himself also. Like that, it is an injection of hope into the society, and this hope is on the basis of a natural accident. Wherever somebody will, if we keep on going like this, certainly there must be a balancing system and somewhere it will happen. Till that time we can be keeping on telling stories and balancing the hopes of people. It is not like that. Crisis management and crisis study must be done by people who are neutral as well as those who are highly disciplining in the field of crisis management and onto-economical studies. So here the India Watch Group, first we have taken the project of making onto-economics as a new emerging subject in economics, how to make the foundation of economics, how about the evaluation, assessment, exaction, precision and assurance calculation of economics, foundation study of calculation of examination of economics, as well as the distribution schemes. So it is entirely a new subject. As everybody is having their livelihood only on the basis of a job. So job crisis, that becomes the cause and effect of the economical deficit. Persons, those who are jobless, they are the effect of the cause of the society in economical deficit. And once again, these jobless people, they become the cause of affecting the society in further demoralizing the society and debilitation of the society. Debilitation of the society by means of individual, collective, financial or physical deficit, which ranges in malnutrition depending upon the grade. Depending upon the grade. For example, if there is Tata, the income may be hundreds of crores, the loans will be hundreds of crores. If there is a poor farmer, it will be in hundreds. So, if there is in poor family, it will affect him. In fact, mortality rate, even foeticide and female infanticide, malnutrition, lack of proper development in pregnant women also, illiteracy. So, a lot of these things will die. And even in imbalanced minds, this debilitation will result in demoralization, like drug addiction, alcoholism, smuggling, antisocial activities. All these activities will develop in a society where the people, they don't have a proper guidelines for at least their mere survival. So debilitation and demoralization will happen in different grades in the society due to this joblessness. It is not an easy job. Whatever we are seeing now, it is not a very easy thing. It is a tiny bomb. It is a very tiny bomb. It has to explode. Now we have placed the bomb. If it explodes, then only we will see. That is instantaneous explosion in a nuclear bomb. It is a gradual explosion, permeation into the society in this joblessness bomb. In this economical recession and this job crisis is a bomb, but which slowly permeates in the society, resulting in a lot of psychological, intellectual, physical, moral, cultural, spiritual and social and even political intrusions. So this must be very carefully seen. So job is the effect of an unorganized society, and job is also the cause which in turn produces the effect of an unorganized society further exasperated. So it is like mutual dependence, the rule or fallacy of mutual dependence. An unorganized society creates joblessness. Jobless society further unorganizes the society, misorganizes and misleads the society. So it is the vicious circles of danger or a social peril in which joblessness and unorganized society, they both contribute together like two bullets of the same court. So job crisis is very much essential for a person to study. And even if a person is having a job, as he is connected with the world, the joblessness of the other persons will penetrate inside. It is known as social pandemics. Like the epidemics in which the contagious diseases are well analyzed, it is also a pandemic disease, uncontrollable disease in the society, in which we can say that I am not having any problem because I am having my job. Or I don't go for a job, I need not go for a job, I am well settled. So irrespective of your status, financial or job status, it is going to affect. Because either you will be looped or you will be looted. Whenever a person is having unorganized growth in the society, even though he is comfortable, he cannot live a comfortable life if the others are disturbed, because it may create an interim, immediate, intermediate effect or impact on him. So, a collective or a federal society in which these persons, they will rise either the temptation or a prejudice or jealousy or enmity or something, some other psychological imbalance of the society may be perturbed or retuned towards, diversified towards that person, so that he cannot live a comfortable life. And moreover, as he is dependent on various people, the dependence impact will also affect his thing. In spite of his job and richness, he will be living a non-productive life. Because liquid wealth, for example, if I am happy, if I have to transact with somebody, they must also be happy. So, we are connected with this society, as it is a single growth. The other end of the society, they must also do something for benefiting us, without which we cannot live comfortably. So, job crisis is equally a greater crisis for the people who are well settled and jobful. This is what I want to say. It is the fourth golden rule of job crisis. Job crisis is equal, or it is a hyper equivalent impact on those who are well settled and jobful, those who are having colorful jobs, those who are employing others, those who are well settled, those who do not go for jobs. For them also, it will be having side, front, back, lateral, peripheral effects. All sides they will be attacked. It will be realized later. It will result in feudalism, communalism, agitation, and some set of labor preponderance in the society. Labor preponderance in the society. It will create a possibility for a lot of eruptions in the society in due course. So, even the jobful people, they must think that they will be unsafe if the others are jobless. So, thinking that there is a common problem in which united welfare only is the real welfare with which we can have a secure prosperity, then only the society will see the dawn, it will see the real prosperity. So, now let us enter to job crisis study. What is job? Job is an opportunity for service given at a place where there is a demand for the skill of a person with infrastructure and tools. This is a definition for job. Job is an opportunity given to a person in an area where there is a demand for the person's skill provided with the essential infrastructure and tools. That is known as job. And this job may be of different types. One is government and second is private and third thing is self-employed. You know that. In job also, whenever you say that privatization is better for the society, that means that shows the government's disability, inability. So, bringing novelty, bringing standards, bringing richness and attraction is the work of government. So, the government, according to the political diplomacy, in order to make an unorganized growth of the private sectors which is benefiting the rulers as well as their parties, the government's developmental standards are very minimized and they are maintained in a very slow process. This is real political diplomacy. If both are equal, private sectors they won't flourish. If private sectors they won't flourish, then a parasite government that cannot survive. So, the government sector must be a real competitor. What is a real competitor? A real competitor, for example, two bulls are fighting. That is real competition. One goat is fighting with a bull. Is it a real competition? Private and government sector, private versus public, write down the differences. Become the student, they are reading that and writing an examination. Is it a question? It is totally absurd and ridiculous. It is just like a competition between goat and bull. A vulture and a squirrel or a sparrow. It is totally unorganized. So, government sector should develop attraction by means of infrastructure, richness, incentives, bonus, workload, proper maintenance of the labor health, wealth and welfare, and at the time they have to give a challenge to the private sector, and then if they win, then that is a real competition. So that is not there. Self-employed, self-entrepreneurship, each and everybody should have a zeal to work, they have a commitment to work, they are not binded by anybody. Those who are having the talent to expose their services for somebody who is in command for a demand, that is known as employment. If a person is having the same command to employ somebody for the demand, then that is self-employment. It depends upon not a person's will, but a person's ability to perform. So these things are the three major sections of job. Then what are the qualities that are required for job? First of all, whenever you enter into job, immediately you must start studying job crisis. In also, the pathological solutions in health industry, immediately the doctors will not go for pathology. First they will study physiology, then anatomy, then pharmacology, then only they will go for pathology. So immediately we must understand what is job. Second, what is job mode? What is job design? What is job selection? And what is meant by job security? What is job vision? What is job standard? What is job psychology? What is known as job studies and what is job vigilance? Then we have to come to job crisis. So, here also we have to understand what are the abilities for a person to job. Job crisis has started. When job crisis started, somebody asked. Job crisis started on the same day when we started going to jobs. Because job requires few qualifications. What are the qualifications? Physical fitness. Have you seen any person who can sit for more than 20 minutes at a place very quietly without wavering their hands or legs or making different postures, resembling either Yogasana or Bharatanatyam? They cannot be just like that. Can you see a person who can pay a gazing attention towards a particular focus point or target for 20 minutes? Can you see a person now in a school or any other professional area where somebody can be optically or auditively or physically attentive towards a particular work? Have they been trained in the domestic area or in the pre-KG, LKG, elementary area? They have not been trained at all. So immediately at the office they are sitting for 6 hours. They are seeing the computer for 6 hours. 8 hours they are seeing without even guessing who is there nearby, and even if somebody penetrates inside television, somebody was seeing there, and a person, that is a very dear robber, he entered inside the house, he looted all the valuable belongings, and he prepared some noodles. He took the noodles with some tomato ketchup. He took also his tea, and then giving the keys in the hands of the person, he went up. The person was busy in Discovery Channel. The owner. Is this attention properly taped attention? No. It is an attention which is driven by temptation, not by quality. Certainly in smaller areas, job environment, you have to sit in your place. That is known as a positional solidity. Then attention, optical solidity, you have to see something, you have to understand something, that is comprehensive solidity. You have to hear something patiently, that is auditive solidity. These qualities are not there in any student. But everybody, they sit and work for 6 or 8 hours in the office. How? Not because of ability, because of demand. They are highly paid and they are very much attracted towards the circumstances. So, being driven by the circumstances, coercion instead of capability drives a person to work. So, immediately they are getting all diseases. All joints are disjoined. And all disjoint portions of the body, they are joined. So you become like a robot with a limited motion. This is the first thing of job crisis. So if you are told, job crisis is not only lack of job, lack of physical fitness to do the job is also job crisis. Why you are not understanding that level? If that level is taken, then more job crisis is there, and even the economical development takes place, that job crisis cannot be overruled by economical development. So whenever economy is developed, be a suitable and befitting person to see that the development is injected inside you and you are a proper servant for economic development. That is one point or one pillar is physical fitness. Physical fitness must be there. Second thing, load management. If there is a big work, you have not undertaken any work at all in your life. In your academic listing, just the diagrams or the pictorial depictions, graph, everything will be made by your sisters or somebody else. And somehow you will get a pass or we will get a mug-up. A thorough memory, by means of which it is a shorter memory. We are totally getting into the book by a bibliophobia or bibliomania. Totally some people are that they are away from books. There are some people who will just jump inside the book and dwell there itself. So this type of people unorganizedly without knowing the purport, rejoicably they could not read or instill in the knowledge, due to which they go for a different type of study that is totally memorizing without knowing the understanding and disintegration. So these type of people, organized workload to manipulate in the official atmosphere, they are not able to do that. Already I have taken, even some projects they have done. The projects are just, they are waived by some people. There are some people who are the estimators for the project. They just go through the pages or the number of pages or the voluminous binding is considered now. In PhDs, in projects, how much they are evaluated, and even if they have evaluation, how much is the contribution of the person, how much he has understood. We don't have time to think that. So whenever a person in his life he has not done an effective job, he goes to the office and there he is given a workload. So whatever you want to do in an office, have you trained? Are you an efficacious person to execute it? Have you undergone any special training for executing the same or not? Nothing is there in the life of the academicians and the academics. That is the most pitiable thing in job crisis. So the first requirement is physical fitness. Second is load management. How to maintain the workload. Not like agriculture workload. It is a smart load. Hard labor is meant for donkeys, horses and elephants. We have to do smart load in which we enjoy the work whatever we do. We must not be like a psychopath after completing the work and coming to house. We must not be resembling such people. So it is not exhaustion, but it is an entertainment. It is known as jobainment. Like a spritainment and edutainment. Jobainment is enjoying the job which you are doing, which is a coinage between job and entertainment. Education and entertainment, edutainment, as given by NCERT. Spirituality and entertainment, we have given it spritainment. And job and entertainment is jobainment. So we have to enjoy that. So load management. Third thing is, you must understand, in your house, you may be throwing away your brothers and sisters, your family people, and you will be having a dominance. How can you show the dominance there? There everybody will ask all the things which are left by your parents. Isn't it so? It is known as atmospheric study. It is atmospheric evaluation of the job. The first thing is known as ergonomics. Second thing is known as eco-ergonomics, whereby not only positioning, but also the positions, various positions and persons there the atmosphere must be evaluated by you. Then only you can understand the job. Fourth thing is balancing the relations with them. Eco-balancing. There are subordinates, there are coordinates and superordinates in offices. More than us, equally with us and those who are under us. And how to maintain our relations. It is very much essential. So, this eco-management or eco-balancing is also very much important. And the fifth and sixth thing is that it is suggestive design and executive design. What is the difference between suggestive and executive design? Suggestive design means not only like a parent repeating whatever they say, not only like a bull taking the load whichever they plant on you. Suggestive is whenever the company is in problem or whenever whatever they are saying is pernicious to the company's health and development itself, then you must be having such a knowledge in which you are having a suggestive execution. What is the difference between executive suggestion and suggestive execution? Suggestive execution is you need not do something whatever they do in a subservient manner. Wherever a person has a caliber to advise something, to alter something, to fix something which is demanded, which is not known to the delegates, that is known as suggestive. Executive is you have to carry whatever they say. Both the skills are very essential. We must have both the skills of executing whatever they suggest and suggest something in whatever they ask you to execute. These two skills are very much essential in entrepreneurship. So these are the qualities for job skills. Do we develop these job skills? No. There are some other status also required for people, some other characteristics for job. One is patience. Patience is very much required for jobs. Second thing is self-correction. How to correct ourselves. Third thing is adjustment with others, correcting ourselves and also correcting others if possible. And there is a recent and decent type of lineage or lenience or adjustability with people. These are all some qualities with which we have to develop our status in the society, that is in the working society. We know that there are different levels of jobs. Unless we understand these things, we cannot understand the real job itself. For example, if you go for a job, immediately they won't give you a job. There may be a probation, there may be a contract, there may be a subcontract or agreement, there may be a job, there may be a project, there may be an assignment, there may be a target, there may be a non-targeted. For example, all teachers are there. They don't have any target acquisition at all. Whether to teach or to see that the people are passed, irrespective of the level of teaching, irrespective of the failure and success of the students, they are paid. So they are not target-based people. So, whereas in IT industries and in commercial industries, it has been made as a target level acquisition. So unless you make the target, you will be overthrown. So this is the level. So we have this probation, contract, subcontract, agreement, job, assignment, target, and various other wings are there. And in this also, we are having other various status like stagnation is there, then promotion is there, change is there, other things we will discuss later. Now, apart from this, there is also certain levels of our positions. One is recruitment, second thing is promotion, change and transfer, resignation is there, retirement is there, apart from which loss is there in self-employment or business. There is loss and there is minimization is there, that we are experiencing minimization now. There is a dismissal, there is suspension. Innumerable things are there. They are all the parts of the job crisis. Job crisis is not only joblessness. If a person is in probation, if a person is in transfer, if a person is in charge of a non-recruitable or useless area, if a person is in inert zone where he cannot develop himself, everything is job crisis. If a talented person is in job inertia, that is if a person is working in an inert zone, a talented person, that is a very greater job crisis, more than a person's joblessness. So job crisis is very exhaustive and it has a multifaceted dimension which we have to study now. Second, we have just explained what is job and what are the several levels of jobs. Now we are getting into job selection. How do we select our jobs? Job, as per the rule, it must be selected by a strong intention and ability for three different skills. One is to withstand, second is to excel, and third is to supersede. So, we know that job is for salary, and salary is for luxury, and luxury is for pleasure, and pleasure is for satisfaction and happiness. This is known to all people. But job must teach also the other side of the coin. Okay, if there is wealth, you will enjoy it. If there is any risk instead of reward, how will you manage that? That skill is not taught. So according to trade science, we used to say a golden statement. A person running a shop or a trade center profitably is not so clever than a person who can close it without loss. Running something profitably is of lesser clever aptitude than closing it without loss. Withstanding is the first skill. How to withstand. Second is excel. Today I am like this. Tomorrow I must not be like this. I must have a comparative as well as a competitive as well as inhibitive growth level. So the third thing is superseding. So whenever circumstances pressurize us, what is the difference between excelling and superseding? Excelling is natural emergence. Superseding is emergence in challenges. And withstanding is whether we grow or not going down is known as withstanding. So these three skills must be there in people, and no such training is available in any corporate sectors. And now, after getting into corporate sectors, they are training and teaching people. These qualities are to be instilled at the level of their primary or elementary education. On entering inside the campus of entrepreneurship, you have crossed the age, you have crossed your obedience level, you have crossed your patience level, you have crossed your adaptability level to listen all of these things and to practice. So after crossing all of these requisites for learning and effective practice, if you are being taken to the process of coaching, training or taming, totally that is not effective. Only a few people can succeed. So these things are to be instilled at the impressionable age itself. So the first thing is to develop the intention and ability to develop all of these basic skills. And the job, you know that there are innumerable levels of jobs. First of all, we have to understand what are all the various levels of jobs. For example, prestigious jobs are there. Now, the best job or the industry is to begin with the real estate or to construct. Actually, this Bhumi Dana, Vidya Dana and Aushadha Dana, these are all said to be the very great laudable charities of our Western millennium. Now it has become the best commercial industry now. For Annadana, now we are having catering centers. For Vidyadana, we have educational international boarding schools. For Aushadana, we are having multi-speciality hospitals. And for Bhudana, we are having real estate market. And this is what we have seen now. So the second area is biggest way to get into fame, name, reputation, wealth and recognition of the society, politics and media, cinema industry like that. Then there are standard jobs of nobility like a doctor, an advocate, a lawyer, engineer, a pilot. These are all there of the common society. Then the fourth level we are having like a scientist, a great astronaut, a leader. All of these people they are in the rare category. So common category, popular category, familiar category and rare categories of jobs are there in the society. And each and everybody they are opting their own job levels as per their own interest. So this job, everybody is not having the satisfactory job within themselves. Regarding job also, there are innumerable divisions. For example, temporary jobs. Persons who are seeing jobs for a temporary basis. Second thing is substandard jobs. The persons, those who are seeing a job which is lower to their standards. A person was sending thousands of dollars every month and the parents were very happy. The person wrote a mail to me that he is working in a bakery. He is an MS engineer. Proper software jobs were not available to the person. Or even jobs are available. The Westerners, they will be having a proper IQ ratio. And you have to totally propitiate that demand by your skill and excellence. If you cannot contribute, see, going to America, anybody can go. And as a sightseeing person, as a tourist, as a lover of nature, environment, or some other purpose, that is okay. If you are going for a challenging thing known as academic or professional status, then immediately you must understand that as it is an international platform, different people of higher caliber and IQ level will be there on the platform and you have to win them. So that is a race. Before qualifying, driven by mere desire, everybody goes there, then they struggle that they have jumped into a torrential stream and they are suffocating. It is nonsense. Those things, by caliber, they must be developed from the younger age itself. So, first, the main thing for job on the basis is to, so that is a race. Before qualifying, driven by mere desire, everybody goes there, then they struggle that they have jumped into a torrential stream and they are suffocating. It is nonsense. Those things, by caliber, they must be developed from the younger age itself. So, first, the main thing for job on the basis is to develop the intention and ability, which I have also told you. Otherwise, they have to go for compensation, they have to go for substandard jobs. So, temporary job. Second thing is substandard job. And third thing is very interesting. It is known as providential lift. A talented person working in an area which is lower than his standard is known as substandard job. And an untalented person, by recommendation or by opportunity or by accidental exercise, put in higher jobs is known as providential lift. That is also there in the society. So providential lift is only for few countable members of the society. Everybody, they struggle between these two things only. Either they are in temporary jobs or in substandard jobs. Now, career designing. Now, there is an institute for career designing. I once addressed in a conference that each and everything that must be inculcated in the smaller age, which is a part of education, that has become a new subject of study. This classroom management, syllabus management, everything is a part of education. Now they have made new syllabus. That's what I told. After a decade, there may be MBA in fees management. New subjects. Now they have started a new subject, career designing. What is career designing? Job selection, networking, company selection, self-assessment, further learning and learning elasticity, further training and training plasticity, environmental super plasticity, getting into quality management, consumer satisfaction management, time management and energy analytical study, then environmental boosting and contributive environmental studies and self-environmental joint venture studies and engineering. That is known as energy engineering, how to engineer your energy resources as per the demand of your company. So these are all the innumerable things which are studied in career designing courses. Now it is that, it is at a budding level, they have not framed any syllabus for that. If we can do, we can be the forerunners or the pioneers for that. And they know how to make your curriculum weighted. Chronologically, education-wise, they are known as chrono profile. Techno profile on the basis of technology, on the basis of your career change, on the basis of your skill or ability, on the basis of the project that you have taken, you can make lot of curriculum material like that. It is based on your education, your project, your vitality, area you want to survey, on the basis of chronological order and career change. Now there is a special thing going on, career designing. Don't say that the job is in crisis. There is nothing known as job crisis in the world. The crisis is within you, that you are not adaptable to a different environment. There is rain, you take an umbrella, and your feet is implicated by heat, wear chappals. There is mud, wash it. And there is raining, no umbrella, then get the shadow of any building or any other structure, superstructure. So this is the way of life. So water, heat, lightning, thunder, all of these things are parts of nature. They will behave, hyper behave and misbehave occasionally. And we have proper tools by which we manage ourselves. So according to these times, there is nothing known as job crisis. It is of two different natures which is inside you, which has created the crisis. Two things, major things, which is the result of job crisis. One is your previous incapability to manage. One is your previous incapability to manage. Second is your present incapability to manage. These two things are the real crisis. Why there is job crisis now? Number one, previously you have mismanaged it. So there is job crisis. Previously I have mismanaged, was the real crisis. Then why I am still having a crisis? Because you are not presently capable of managing it also. So that is job crisis. So this is the fifth golden rule of job crisis. There is nothing known as job crisis. It is a reflection of our previous mismanagement and our emasculine imbecilism of the present status to handle it. So there is no job crisis at all. The next thing is job psychology. We must understand psychology. What do we want from job? Without understanding job psychology, we cannot understand job crisis at all. What is the first psychology? See, they are not coming directly for jobs. People, those who are born in the cradle, immediately they don't jump into offices. They jump into the house, then into the streets, then go to the school, then into all other places in the society, theatre, restaurant, everywhere. Then also they go to school and then to office. Isn't it so? So the first thing is, in the education system, campus selection is not only the thing which is essential for making the persons to be a well-developed structure. To get into a well-developed structure, campus selection or pre-selection or learn while you work and work while you learn and get a work while you learn, get a work while you study, all of these various things are now given by the society in the education system itself. And no doubt it is an additive, no doubt it is a supplement, no doubt it fails the person to go for a proper status of work, but that is not sufficient. You understand, from various corners of the society, except in some business management and IT oriented places, this campus selection is not in all places. These people, they form only 4% of the sector, and these people, they are having these facilities. Only some high-end sectors of the society, they are having these selection options, and which is furnishes to other growing sectors and existing sectors of the society. The first problem in psychology is joy and violence in the campus mind. What is campus mind? A person, whenever he is entering into an educational center, two things are totally rolling and ruling their minds. One is a joyous suit, second is violence. They consider that this is a time or this is an area, according to Shastras, the youth is meant for struggling and old age is meant for enjoyment. Because we cannot work at the time of your old age. According to Shastras, as per the creation also, at the time of youth you are given energy, you are having withstandingness, you are given endurance to maintain all of these things. So everything is blessed only in youth. So there may be a question. In gerontology lecture I described this. Then do you mean that in old age we must not work and we must not play or we must not recreate in the young age? It is not there. Recreation is inbuilt within the creation in youth, and creation is inbuilt within recreation in the old age. You can do anything recreative in your youth, but the recreation that you take must be an interim relaxation which boosts your energy to work more in your workable area. And in old age you must do such a work which gives you proper rest. And in young age you must do such a rest which gives you proper work, ability to do proper work. So this joy and violence that is developing in campuses, that is the first problem, which also comes in the sense, whatever that is there in the cradle that comes to the cart, that will come into the throne, and that will go to the graveyard, and that will succeed in the next birth in the cattle. It is a cyclic phenomenon. You see, now there was domestic violence. It has become now campus violence. Now it has started professional violence, job violence. It has started now. It is coming there. So anything that starts, we are seeing it oozing in the society. At the time we are enjoying as if it is an action thriller or suspense movie. Then whenever it comes to our house or within our environment, then we are struggling as if hot water is poured on our feet. So that is an improper way. So it is now oozing like that. So first is job and violence. Second thing is a diligency-less mere dream. They are in artism. Most of the students are in artism. They are seeing lot of things in cinema and lot of things in the society, big buildings. So they are in an artistic society, an artificial society. That is second thing. Third thing is attraction. So if there is a coal mine, if there is a mineral or ore mine, It is also hyper productive, that is also essential for the society. But there nobody will prefer to work because infrastructure of IT industries, they are richly paid and status in the society that you are IT. But now it is different. The people at America, more than the IT people, the psychiatrists, those who are treating the IT people, they are more rich. And there is a common belief in the Western society that they must not be married to IT people. Brides must not be married to IT people because they cannot take care of, they are not potent enough to take care of the society, they cannot share their love, they will be eccentric, they will be hysteric in nature. So this is a suggestion given by the Psychological Research Society of America. So this is what we are saying. So job and violence, and number 2, attraction. Third thing is mere artistic dream without diligency. Fourth thing is over-focusing. If you over-focus on something, then all other innovative and diversified skills will be lost. Fifth thing is always you will be with a machine, that is known as solitude. At the time of your solitude, then you will be socially disabled. Like physically handicapped, you will be socially handicapped. You cannot move with any person at all. While you are in work, you will not have the time to move in the society. After your work is lost, you will lose the capacity to move in the society. So that is the solitude. And sixth thing is extremity. What is extremity? If you go extremity either in stinginess or in total extravagance of expenses. So you are inviting your status, purchasing high-end things. As you are high-end IT professional, everything must be high-end. So that results in extravagance, creating a loss for you in future, also creating black money in the society. Economical disaster is created by means of these things. Then capricious mentality in the society. That is also in job psychology. So many people, they are not held accountable for the jobs. So they are very capricious, prevaricated and perfunctory in their works. And competition urge. Whenever they see, they don't know the limitations. They follow America, they follow these people. Somebody asked the same question in an Economic Development Council meeting. In India, a lot of people, more than 43% of the people, they are in poverty. A lot of people are in illiteracy. There is also malnutrition status, and rural development is just in the boom. It is now reaching the threshold just now. At that time, we have to launch Chandrayaan. Lot of our cottage industries and basic amenities are not properly there. Why do we have to develop, especially these economical zones, SEZs, and thereby creating a status divide in the society? So all of these questions have been raised. So this is known as psychology. What is competition urge? If somebody does something, it creates a false prestige inside us, whether we deserve or even if we deserve, whether there is a need of the hour or not. Even if something we deserve, what is the immediate preference? And what is the priority? It must be studied. This is not there in job psychology, which is resulting in a total collapse. Unless the job psychology is tuned, job crisis is an eternal companion, an inseparable wife, spouse of the society. So these are the basic things. Now we are coming to job standards and crisis. What are all the job standards and crisis? What is the hierarchy of jobs? Number 1, there is growth of species. That is known as population. Second, the population, they need a lot of resources. That is number 2. As they need resources, they are surveyed. Number 3, survey. And when they are surveyed, the methods of extraction, preservation and distribution is studied. Number 4. When they are studied, 2 opportunities are created. One is learning opportunity, second is execution opportunity, creating academic and professional standards. This is the hierarchy of jobs. Species, they multiply. Multiplied species, they seek resources. Researchers, they march towards survey. Survey implements search. And search and study, they boost 2 schools of thought. One is the thought of learning and thought of executing. Execution creates professional hierarchy, and academic standards are created by the learning techniques. So this is hierarchy of jobs. And these things are ever emerging. So we can say that ever there is in the society, there is a system of development. But what is the difference between development and diversification? Development is different from diversification. For example, if somebody is eating pariyushita, that is a stale food of yesterday, and giving him bread, and somebody is eating dry bread, giving bread with jam, that is development. If somebody is eating bread, then snatching the bread and giving to somebody else, it is not development. agriculture, animal husbandry and weaving, there are the natural inborn jobs created by God. They have permanence and they have eternal, unavoidable fragrance in the society, indispensable fragrance in the society. For example, for weaving now we are having textile industry. For weaving, if you are developing textile industry, it can be somehow adjusted that it is a development. Those who are doing agriculture by industrial realization all went to industries. Foundry industries, various other mechanical industries they developed. And when IT industry they started, electronics started next. Then all of these people they built that, leaving an empty shadow in that place. And IT industry started. Everybody left this, started going there. So uneven and unorganized growth of a sector, snatching the resources for existence and flourishing of a different sector, isn't it a deterioration of the society? Can it be called as a development of the society by any means? It is impossible. So a society needs everything. We cannot eat chips, potato chips, we cannot use in computers, and we cannot conclude those things to be edible. Society needs different angles and different services. So first of all, developmental economics must define what is development and what is diversification. Without providing proper manpower for a particular industry, unorganized booming or blossoming of a different industry that will make that person's one day jobless, and also those persons unsuitable for the other job, they cannot be repatriated here back also. So in Vedas we used to say, if a person is surrendering to a god, if he goes to some other god, even this god will not take him back, and that god will not also realize his surrender. There is a Yajurvedic statement like that. Svam devata matya jale praspaye devata ye chabate pram prapnoti papiyan bhavati. Likewise, the person totally immersed in a different field, living in a high standard, immediately he cannot come backward and do something effectively here. It is the so difference between development and diversification. Now we are having 5 divides in job. There must be a special science known as jobology, and there must be a detailed report for what it is job. Statistical study, like 1,62,834 people left job and 86,34,312 people are entering into the job in IT industry in the European community, giving a lot of the statistical reports, which is totally useless, and also with the courage that nobody is going to count or verify those things. It is totally useless. First of all, onto economics. What is the basis of these things? We can also give statistical figures. So what is the base of these things? So organizing everything, if you leave to somebody else, create some resources exclusively for that without the other resources being affected. Now all the things are the electronics industry totally lost. Construction, civil engineering totally lost. Mechanical engineering totally lost. All of these basic engineering which are there in daily day-to-day life, they are totally lost, and information technology which is in trade sector, which is for high-level communication, for dollar marketing and accumulation, that is flourishing. So isn't it illegal or unlawful enrichment in the society? It has created 5 divides in the society. One is gender divide. We have to understand gender divide also. How these job opportunities are given for women and what is the ratio between this masculine and feminine genders. That is known as gender study. Second thing is level study. In the same thing also, now before a few decades, you know that a diploma person can comfortably do a job successfully. Now even an MS person is struggling. I have already told that the MS has become the initial of Subbulakshmi, and it has got no more value here. Double MS, triple MS, PhD, delete. Unless the person is a major designer or solution provider or a high-end person, he has no job at all. Like a sugar cane, his job will be squeezed and he will be set back there. So like that is known as a level. The third thing is status. If a person does a hard work, he will not be paid anything, or he will be paid less. Some person, he will do no work, he will enjoy everything. That is a status divide in the society. There is structure divide between rural and urban status. So job means you have to understand gender, you have to understand level, you have to understand nature, what is the type of job you are doing. So nature, structure, level, grade and gender are the 5 major divides. Without understanding which we cannot conclude what is a job and what is a job problem. So coming to the conclusion of understanding what are the things that are to be done by us.
Kindly carry on.
What is the reason for the joblessness? General question, what is the reason for joblessness? The first thing is obstinacy. If you consider that job is an opportunity, it is a flexible opportunity, so you must be also flexible without any dogmatic principles, then you can get good jobs. If a person is in dreams, in specification, I must sit only in that seat, I will work only here, I will work only with this place. All of these things are persons are market specific, product specific, and job specific, area specific, position specific. So this obstinacy is the reason for 13% of joblessness. Why they won't be in job crisis if they are obstinate? So due to their dogmatism, unqualified obstinacy, this job crisis occurs in places. The second thing is due to non-availability or nescience of alternatives. Somebody really they want to go for alternatives because they have really they have come to the level of making themselves flexible, but they have not been trained for alternatives. So that is 12%. So really, more than 65% of the present job crisis is tameable. Only 35% is a problem, sir. And that too, in that 20% will be suffering more. That can be also curable. Can be also cured by means of some pressures which we are put together. So we have to classify this job crisis into various measures. Everything, closing your eyes, you cannot say that just as there was a story of a barber and the barber was suffering. When the barber was shaving, the king just casually asked how was the society. And he told that everybody is suffering. And nobody is happy at all. They are not having, they are having not even a single gold coin. He told so. Then he asked the ministers, immediately he summoned everybody and organized a meet. A ministerial press meet he organized. Immediately he asked everybody, my subjects are totally disappointed with my rule. Everybody is suffering. Then they asked, everything is right as per records. Who told you? Then after a long reluctance, he told that the barber told. Then the minister told, give him 2 gold coins tomorrow and ask him day after tomorrow. Then after 2 days, the same person was inquired. He told that everybody is happy. Everybody is having gold and grains in their house. Everybody is having all the 5 things in the house. 5 G's must be there in the house for happiness. One is G for gold. Second is G for grain. Third is G for ghee. Fourth is G for garland, means fame or pride. Fifth is G for God. So the barber told, I'm having all the G's and everybody is very happy. Like that, whenever we develop, you must understand 2 things. This is the 6th golden rule of job study or job crisis. What is the 6th golden rule? When we thought that we have been flourishing, the society was suffering at large. Whatever you call as the Chandrasekhar period where gold was mortgaged, there was a lot of developments. At the time of so-called liberalization, when it was introduced, there were a lot of sufferings. So at the time of our underdevelopment also, so that is what I want to say is, opportunities for development and development, they are also parts of the society amidst underdevelopment or lack of development or contrary development or adverse development. It is also a part of the society. Now, in spite of this thing, there are a lot of developmental opportunities, a lot of sectors are there, because of which proper distribution systems are to be newly implemented. That I am going to say what are the 6 or 7 major tools which are to be taken for economical development or financial progress in the nation. That we are going to conclude now. So, even at the time of distress, there was suffering. That is, there was flourishing. And even at the time of flourishing, whenever we call it as a golden era, there may be there. So, whenever something is predominant, we used to see something in the society, and we don't bother about whenever, irrespective of Rama and Ravana ruling, there are innumerable people not having light, not having proper clothing and dress in the society. They are in the common statistical standards of the society. Their percentage is very negligibly fluctuating. For example, there are, at least in our Indian population, there are 17% of the population who are in darkness. That is not this electrical darkness, total darkness without any darkness. It may be 16, 15, 19, 20 or something. But the fluctuation or the so-called development or the so-called ascent and descent, it may be very negligible. Irrespective of anything or any person ruling that, they are enjoying that same darkness only. So this is what we have to study in this area. So this is the sixth golden rule, that both flourishing and perishing nature, they must be evaluated in a complete study or a complete study. Some industrial development that cannot indicate the total pulse rate of economic development of a nation. Likewise, underdevelopment also. In some area, growth is danger. For example, health industry is there, pharmaceuticals, hospitals are there. If they grow, does it really mention or does it mean the development of health sector? Health industry develops when health is not developed. So there are a lot of such things also there. The growth or the development, pharmacological thing, 12,500 crores we have given for pharma sector. It was announced in the budget. Is it a healthy development? Everybody is happy. 12,500 crores. What a great development in health industry. Is it development? So in the touchstone of development, at the time of development, in one corner, there will be suffering in another corner. Rule number one. Number two, in some sectors, development itself, it shows that the society in adversity. So these two rules are there in economical appreciation or fiscal appreciation. These two rules have to be included. This is only in auto-economics. Modern economics, it projects only a unilateral or one-sided development. You see, there are new buildings are coming. I have made IT parks, and this BMW and Rolls-Royce people and this Bentley people, they have opened showrooms in various parts of the metropolitan cities. These things are given for appreciation only for the those who are having poor economical studies or poor economical scrutiny. The real development is not so. So here, the concluding session, it deals with what do you really call by job studies and what do you call really by job vigilance. These two things are very essential before coming to the second point. One thing is job studies. How do you study about a job? I have already told, obstinacy as well as a person's non-availability of alternative opportunities, physical and mental incapabilities or intellectual incapabilities also, they come into the purview of joblessness. In job studies, why a person becomes jobless? Is it a nature or accident? Joblessness is also an accident but also nature. Then a person can become naturally jobless by three interventions. Detailed report which is applicable, which is the Bible of job professionalism for the whole world, which is the scripture of professionalism, which is applicable for all people. What is endurance study? Okay. Fourth thing is very essential. What is the tempo study? Tempo study is very essential. For example, even though it can endure, the tempo will be reduced. Tempo means it is the type of vigor with which it proceeds. Even though that endures the growth and situations, the tempo will be reduced in due course. At the time, we have to minimize people, minimize work, teach them alternative ways for surviving, alternative ways for establishment. Everything must be started before. Alternative ways of survival must be taught at an area where they are flourishing and comfortable. No idiot can start learning or teaching swimming when he is going to drown. So this is the thing. So first thing is qualitative and quantitative requirement or demand of the profession or the new faculty. The second thing is the ratio of the speed between the learning and expectation in the job fields. Third thing is endurance study. Fourth thing is tempo study. Fifth thing is the particular job is there. We have to create a network. It is not only within ourselves. The whole world, what is its expectation and how we can survive, how we can serve, how we can serve and survive. This thing is known as network study. We have to make a global network study. We must not be independent. So to make a network study. So all of these things are there in job vigilance, without which there is no job vigilance possibility at all. So a person must have alternative ways. For example, there is painting. There is painting, there is drawing, there is publication, there is printing, there is craft business, there is catering, there is water business. Innumerable opportunities to survive are there. and they are subjected to quick learning, easy access, anything can be done. So these people, they make some abstract principles within some job, area, level, status, etc. Due to which most of the people they suffer due to job crisis. Job crisis is only due to the arrogance of people, prejudicial arrogance of the people. Most of the job crisis formula. So job vigilance teaches you three major principles. They are known as the three ratnas, the three jumps of job vigilance. One is contentment, be contented. Second, save whatever you get, so that you cannot be getting all seasons. All seasons need not be sunny, there will be a rainy season, and you have to save for it. And it is taught to us by ants. And saving must be followed by us also. Then the third thing is talent. What is talent and what is skill? Talent is different from a skill. Skill is an ability to perform work. Talent is to adopt any skill to perform any work whenever and wherever it is required. So be talented. Be prepared for any type of work and you can get that. So contentment, savings and talent. If these three things are there, job vigilance gives you an evergreen richness in job fields also. Now coming to the crisis, there are four factors of study. The first thing is study and survey of Indian economy. See, whenever you study economy, I have already told economics. You must understand two principles. Whatever we are facing now, the contribution of the previous decade and its impact on present economical status, and the present economical situation and its contribution on the forthcoming decade. These things, unless you are studying these both things and surveying something which is connected with a month or a few months of issue, then that will not give you a full study. It is an impact of the previous decade and it is an impact of the forthcoming decade also. And the reflection of various other things are also studied. So four factors. One is Indian economy. Second thing is the general global economic recession or crisis. The third thing is the Western crisis or the connected crisis, or it is known as connectivity crisis. With the UK, US, Middle East, we are having the triad in economy. The bullion economy, the dollar economy and the fossil fuel Middle East economy. The triad we are having, and that is known as connective economics. And you must understand this impact on us also. Then the fourth thing is professional collapse or field collapse. These four things are to be read. One is Indian economy, and second thing is general economical crisis of the world. Third thing is connective crisis or the crisis of the Western world and Middle Eastern world, which reflects on Indian economy and its development. And the fourth thing is a disciplining professional or field collapse. If particular area of totally collapses, all of the dependents they will also collapse. Now the economic crisis is not global economic crisis. It is a field collapse. It is only a field collapse. But why it is affected? Because everybody was attracted, attuned, and everybody was very much appreciably annexed with this particular faculty, because of which even a small problem to the faculty that has become a global crisis. So it is a globally made crisis and it is not a global crisis. Food crisis, water crisis, and we are having the global warming. These things are global crises. And whatever we are facing now, it is not a global crisis, it is a field collapse. Unorganized growth in the society, a particular field which is developing high-end labor or white-collar slavery in the form of IT industry, totally making all the people, academicians to surrender IT, learning professionals to surrender into IT field, and government to surrender favor without rural development, without doing all other things. Government is interested in only three things. One is military investment. Second thing is science, technology and space exploration. Third thing is special economical zones and giving favor to our new brothers. Not bothering about the labor members of the society. So these three unorganized things, I always used to say something, natural disasters and economical collapses are big blows given by the poor helpless society whose stomach irritation has bursted out in the form of a disastrous calamity. So those helpless people, those who cannot do anything directly to the power mediums and blocks of the society, the irritation gets imbibed into the nature and reflected into artificial and natural collapses in the form of disasters. That is the basic thing. without morality, without brotherhood, without sustainable development, federating everybody, nobody can bring happiness and economical equality to society. And India taught the same thing before so many millennia, and now it is also our duty to remain the same, not only to the world but also to our own Indians. It does not mean that we are very safe and we are very happy, we are very obedient to our ancestral roots. We have to teach first, as Indians, we have to teach India, and as we are the global leaders, as well as the mother of the globe, taking the care of Vishwejana Sukhino Bhavantu, Sarvejana Sukhino Bhavantu, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. These are the slogans of our ancestors, in which we worked, we prayed for everybody. That's what I used to see about the three major sections. One is to ponder, second is to preach, and third is to pray. We can ponder on all issues, and we can preach to a limited people, and we can pray for all. So India's this watch group, it is an area where we can ponder for all of these issues, preach these issues to the limited people, those who can execute, and also very wholeheartedly pray for the welfare of the society. These three things will be the rules or the disciplining principles of our institution. We are not only going to ponder, everybody is pondering upon these things. And we are not only going to preach, because there are a lot of people to preach rather than people to reach. And now we are going to make a blend of the splendors of preaching, knowledge dissemination, pondering, intellectual dissemination or intellectual exercise, and a spiritual exercise in the form of a prayer, in which all people are totally benefited. Now, there are few exercises which I want to say now in the concluding section. Number one, how to rectify all these things. First thing is ceiling or limitation. Second thing is ban or bar. Third thing is culling. Fourth thing is pooling. Fifth thing is distribution. Sixth thing is link platform. These are the 6 ways. 6 major ways for nailing this unorganized growth, as well as bringing the recession into the prosperous procession which exists before several centuries. So that is the ideology for that, and also it serves as a methodology also. And what do you mean by limitation? That which does not contribute to the immediate and necessary development of the basic members of the society, we have to temporarily limit those operations. Like land sealing, operation sealing for lot of things like jewelry, diamond, everything instead. You see, if they grow down, or that is if they are slowed or if they are lowered, then that is a loss. If you seal that for a time period, like 1 year or 2 years, or an interim stay is there, then immediately it is something for growth. So sealing is limiting of operations, and also providing. See, government is doing lot of measures, like Margaret Thatcher, what she did at the time of revolution of these labours, she took a very bold opinion there. Likewise, we must take a very bold opinion. If there is fiber, or this optical fiber cables for this telecommunication industry, and also for this electricity board was also proposed by Hong Kong company for 1.5 decades. Replace everything by wireless or by optical fiber cabling, which reduces risk and also which reduces efficacy. Then the government thought in 2 ways. Whenever these things are done, they can be done with World Bank and with high power investment, they can do that. At that time, whenever in the pretext of the repair, reinstallation, everything, they cannot meet money, number one. Number two, immediately it will make a lot of people jobless. Those people, they will agitate. So farmers loan and farmers loan cancellation and various other things, no doubt that is required for the society, but that is not given in the proper way. If you really understand, I told you in one lecture, really if you understand putting roads to the rural area, I have already told you, it is not for rural development at all. If you put roads, then only you can, it is not for taking their products for selling and giving them benefit. It is making your products reach them. And without increasing their purchasing ability, to create a temptation by which they become poorer and poorer. They will purchase a lot of things. Now everybody is having mobile. Giving TV sets to all panchayats is not for educating the people. It is also naturally that happens. As an accidental benefit it happens. But really it is not meant for the same thing. Why? If there is a television, then lot of private companies and multinational sectors, they will advertise their products. By means of which they can be developed and government is in close with them. This is really happening. I may be talking like a communist or somebody, but it is a real thing. In the pretext of developing somebody, that development is only very limited, and so many other people are developed instead of developing these people. That is a real thing. Whenever you see this thing, it really happens in society. So limitation and alternative things. Whenever the person they are going to be jobless, they are going to be jobless after 6 months. Train and create new opportunities like the cottage industries, workstations, construction stations. You can create new job opportunities. There are 126 new job opportunities listed by the Global Watch people. Why you are lamenting that there is no job at all? If you decide that there is a job in which I wear only a coat and suit, I will be inside and AC, then that job may not be for you for all at all times. Then there are innumerable different legal, rational, productive jobs which can fetch you good status, national development, and also good earning to you. There are jobs like that. So this is what we call limitation. Second thing is barring. Totally, lot of things must be totally barred. You must put a list of what are the things to be done. Third thing is to cull out. Nobody can cull out the hidden financial resources from the society. The cursed wealth of the society in the form of black wealth, it cannot be brought. It can be easily brought, but nobody will do that. Because the person who has to do, they will be possessing the same how that they can do that. Nobody will be interested in digging their own grave. For example, from January 1st to 2009, are the 500 and 1000 rupees notes will be totally they will be devalidated. Everybody should surrender all the notes and get it accounted in the bank and transfer. Immediately we put that all that money will come out. Entirely different, that cannot be easily brought. Actually a distribution scheme, so if it is reduced immediately these fellows will agitate. And government is afraid of agitation or any practical implementation. If there is social conscience or social intelligence, conscience is somebody is suffering, I am getting more than what I deserve, I have to sacrifice. This is social conscience. Social intelligence is if everybody is cherishing how I can live. So I have to do something, otherwise I will also be affected. So there is no social conscience, there is no social intelligence at all. If you have any one of these two qualities, then we can very comfortably see that those who are in the high end, their allowances and sanctions can be reduced, and those who are well surviving, rich and surviving, they can be reduced, and the same thing can be distributed for the suffocating and struggling entities. It is known as distribution. Sixth thing is, we have to make a link platform. Lot of people are suffering for food. The public distribution system, they are saying that there are 130 millions of metric tons of wastage of food products are there in the whole world. And there are a lot of lands we are newly developing and we are cultivating, making arable lands. And then the recent science has a report saying that the land mass equal to the area of Ukraine is lost every year by erosion. The whole world uses the area equal to the area of square kilometers of Ukraine. That is being lost every year by this water utility or underwater mismanagement, soil erosion and various other disasters. The area size of Ukraine is being lost. So we are seeing both the things. For example, you are seeing joblessness, but you see classified and Naukri.com, thousands of demands are also. So there will be a proper link platform that is not known to all. There is a platform, but the platform is in a fragmental side. So we have to create such a platform in which each and everybody knows the other side, the proper demand and supply. And also we must know how long we can work. Because there are four problems. What is your personal problem? For this you must not go for sociology, right? That's what I told. For the other job prices in the society, you must go for sociology. Or your personal problems where you can go for job, you have to concern astrology, not sociology. So there are four problems. One is your personal problem. If you consider that your leg fracture is social crisis and job crisis, that is BTS and overestimation. That is personal. And second thing is institutional. If your company is being closed, that is institutional. Your company is sealed, that is institutional. Third thing is professional. That particular industry itself is totally lost. And the fourth thing is global. The whole globe is suffering. So we have to understand what is your individual problem, what is the problem of your company, what is the problem of the same thing that is selected by your company. The total sector is being affected and the whole globe and whole global economic progression and procession is being affected. So this must be very understood. So there are also various stages of job. If a person is jobless, there are three things. One is interim. This is a job crisis, that is BTS and overestimation. That is personal. And second thing is institutional. If your company is being closed, that is institutional. Your company is sealed, that is institutional. Third thing is professional. That particular industry itself is totally lost. And the fourth thing is global. When the whole globe is suffering, so you have to understand what is your individual problem, what is the problem of your company, what is the problem of the same thing that is selected by your company. The total sector is being affected, and the whole globe and whole global economic progression and procession is being affected. So this must be very understood. So there are also various stages of job. If a person is jobless, there are three things. One is interim. Second thing is vicious circle. Vicious circle means it will lead to the next problem, it will lead to the next problem, and it is cyclic. Interim is, for example, there is a boom and there is work. Both the things are unavoidable. Now if we consider textile industry, now textile industry is going to sleep. Pharmaceutical industry will develop because I have already told the development reason for health industry. So likewise some industry they are going to sleep. It does not mean that they can be stabilized. They are being stabilized. So interim solutions we require. There are three things. One is immediate solution. Second thing is interim solution. Third thing is prolonged solution or long-term solution that is required. So all of these various solutions they can be driven in various areas. We have to create a link in which we know all the information. We must know about job updatation. We must know about connected links and related links. We must lose our obstinacy. We must sacrifice our obstinacy and illiteracy. Illiteracy, what do you mean by illiteracy? There is computer literacy. There is a digital literacy. Now there is an era which is going to come. It is known as nano illiteracy. Anybody who cannot handle a nanoparticle, he cannot handle any work at all. Handling things in a mega structure. After 50 years, probably they have just predicted. Probably after 2020, the so-called rhythmic era of 2020, everything will be nano size, nano tools, nano materials, nano powder, nano food, everything will be nano. So at that time, anybody who is not capable of handling nano material will be nano in its weight. And he will not be used. So we must understand that there is nothing more than job creation. The thing is, in growth, that is an area where it is totally getting into retrogression. That time must be predicted and analyzed by us, and we must be prepared for anything mentally, intellectually to meet all our challenges. Maybe the Shastras they have given lot of methodologies for understanding. The three methodologies are there. One is Ganana. You have to say something about our faculty also. But first thing is Ganana Siddhi. Second thing is Bahana Siddhi. Third thing is Dharana Siddhi. So next week there is a vacation, I can just dictate those mantras which have been practiced in the earlier years. What is Ganana, what is Bahana, and what is Dharana? Bahana means to administer. Whenever there are resources, you have to administer it in a loyal, in a legal, in a legitimate, in a prudential manner. That is known as Bahana. That is capable administration of resources is known as Bahana. Second thing is Ganana. You must have the science of prediction or calculation. It is known as futuristics. Prediction need not be astrological. There is also a system of futuristic calculation. If you understand, if you make a statistical, logical, strategical and logistic report of what has happened in the previous and present, you can very easily the future. It is known as futurology or futuristics. So that is known as Ganana. How long you can sustain personally. That astrologer must only say. How long this company will sustain? We can see the company and we can easily predict. The third thing, how long this sector will flourish? Then a global economical survey is essential. How long the global system can establish? That requires onto-economical study. So, personal study is astrology, company study is management study, the sector study is global economical study, and onto-economical study is for feeling the pulse and heartbeat of the global economical empire. So this is known as Ganana. Third thing is Dharana. How to withstand amidst these quakes, collisions, shakes and oscillations that we see in our job business in the society. So I wish that our nation, it has provided not only the skill of administration through the Bahana Siddhi, but also Ganana to identify the future as per present and past calculation, and also Dharana, how to withstand, how to have solidity, how to have robustic stability to face all of those things, and also to embrace others, those who are weaklings, so that we can have a whole time integrated all-round happiness and harmony, and that is the vision and mission of our life. So considering this as A primary lecture, India's watch group, it has started that think tank. You know what is tank? Tank means it will be neat. Isn't it so? Tank means it is a system of water in which there will be neatness, because tanks are very frequently washed and they are very much stored and they are served also. Tank has more benefits than well pond and other things. Well pond no doubt in quality, in volume, and the stream has more velocity and volume is there more in sea and oceans, but still a tank that fits to our record. So tank means it gives 5 meanings. 1. It gives an adaptable dose. Number 2, it is maintainable by us. It has a supply mechanism like a tap, using etc. So what is the difference between a thick ocean or a thought tank or a thought sea or a thought pond? Innumerable things we can extract like this. What is the difference between that? Ocean of knowledge is salty, nobody can derive that. Whereas this tank is drinkable. Likewise, knowledge is very wide and it is very frightening. Simplified knowledge is known as tank, number 1. Knowledge is very energetic and we are weaklings. Knowledge felt like an infant's dosage is very communicable to us. So it shows the dosage which is assimilable to us, that is known as tank. 3. It is maintainable. Knowledge gets into problems. That is stagnation due to lack of memory, lack of presence of mind, circumstantial diversifications and coercions, lesions, malfabrications, misapprehensions, false apprehensions, oblivion and deceptions, self-deception and external deception. So as it is maintainable by us, we can create a serene and a scintillating structure of knowledge catering to the needs of, demands of the immediate requirements of the people. Number 3. 4th thing, it is serviceable as well as supplyable. It has all the links. Like to get the water from the underground depth, it has a power pump, and to reach the tank, it has a tube. From the tank, it gets a tube and it has a tap option also. Likewise, knowledge that has the option of getting the knowledge from the total knowledge source. That is not a tank. What is a tank? Difference between a tank and a big source. This tank, we can imbibe the knowledge, essential knowledge, by a compression, intellectual compression box, and we can retain that knowledge and we can tap it whenever required and untap it whenever not required. So applicable and distributable, disseminatable knowledge is known as a tank. So tank is a tube place, tank is a facilitated place, tank is a well-structured place, tank is working in an essential and needy area, tank is for the benefit of varieties of people and it is refillable. So this is known as tank. So think tank is different from the thought ocean. Likewise, we have made the great knowledge which is full of intricacies, complexities and complications. We have made that knowledge accessible, affordable, approachable, assimilable, apprehendable, comprehensible, distributable and rejoiceable by means of this think tank. And there is nothing known as watchdog. Watch sprint is there. There is a sprint of watch within everybody. What is watch sprint? Define watch sprint. Watch sprint is of 4 types. 1. What are the things that we have? First, an evaluation of our essentiality. Second thing is crisis evaluation. What are the things that we must not get? First is evaluation of essentialities. Second is evaluations of the non-essentials and pernicious factors. The third thing is to have a vigilance that not even a single drop of essentiality goes out. Fourth thing is to watch that not even a non-essentiality or a pernicious factor, not even a drop enters inside. This is known as watch. So first watch is evaluation of essentiality. Second is evaluation of our enmity. Third is to make a meticulous move that not even the infinitesimal spark of an essentiality does not ooze out. Fourth is to watch that not even an infinitesimal spark of non-essentiality or enmity gets inside. These 4 qualities are known as watch. So anybody evaluating the requirements for him, evaluating the hindering factors for the requirement and sees that the requirement factors are well preserved and sees that the unnecessary factors, they don't come inside. So a watchman is a person who allows the person to go inside. It is permitted. Not allow the person who is prohibited. He will not let out the person to go outside also. For example, I am not going to come inside. A thief is coming to the guy and saying, I want to go. Please leave me. I don't want any friendship with you. He will not just leave you.
So just as the watchman is there, watchdog is there, watchman, watchdog, everything has come from watch spirit. So we have to put the word watch spirit, which is there in the watchman, which is there in the watchdog, which is there in the police, which is there in the military, which is there in the border forces, which is there in the students, each and everybody is having a border spirit. And that border spirit is known as watch spirit. It is with everybody. And no doubt dog and the man is having the watch spirit, that's why they are known as watchdogs and watchmen. So the original word is watch spirit, which is there in the dog and man. And which is there in everybody in their own area, wherever, whenever, however, how much, howsoever that is demanded, that is to be implemented by us. So we are having India Watch Group. What does it mean? It means three things. We Indians, we create a patriotic feeling of unity irrespective of caste, clan, and various other discriminations, and we form somebody for the development of our nation. Number one, it is a watch group of India by Indians for the development of India. Number two, we are adopting the greatest tradition of India by our spiritual, cultural, moral and patriotic heritage, and we are implementing those tools. India also means the first thing is locative, second thing is executive. Locative means we are at India, so it is India also. Executive, we are Indian, so it is applicative, it is for Indian, so it is applicative. Instrumental, we are going to use the Indian knowledge, Indian traditional system of knowledge. So on the basis of this instrument also, it is India also. Fifth thing is universal. We, Indians, being more civilized and responsible members for global welfare and prosperity, who consider universal brotherhood. When these people are nomadic and they are nude, romantic and romancing in the forest, we have taught them, we have taught ourselves, we have taught the whole global community the values of ethicism, morality and spiritual unity. So as we are the forerunners, now we are in a position to teach the whole society from India to watch themselves to organize global pride and harmony. So these are the meanings of watch group, India watch group, tag, think, tag, etc. By explaining all of these principles, now we have started with job prices. I believe that this can be produced in the form of a lecture, and in forthcoming lectures, so many other supplementary lectures by other people, question and answer sessions, as well as articles and writings from various people can be also brought, so that we can prepare some essential things and publish it in the cyberspace, as well as forward it to concerned department, ministries and working people and NGOs, so that we can have at least refrainment from the sin of not committing anything for the welfare of our nation. The thing is not implemented, that is not there in our head, because we are limited only with policy making and policy dreaming and progress dreaming. We are not power makers. So from the next session also, articles, papers, question answer discussions, brainstorming discussions, interactive dialogue and speeches by various people in a supplementary manner. Special guest lectures will also be implemented, and those implementations will be published in the form of proceedings, not in a book. Just as a computer copy is more than enough. Published in the cyberspace and forwarded to all responsible, so-called responsible and enthroned members of the society whose departmental liability and destiny is to take care of all these things. And I hope such a dawn can be brought out by the India Watch Group today, which was there born, just as Parikshit was born dead, and by the gracious touch of Lord Krishna, he came back to life by the experimentation of Krishna, by which he has been very appropriately named as Parikshit. Now, just as Parikshit Maharaja, this obsolete or this inner system has been hyperactivated and inebriated with spiritual splendor and prowess, and it is going to shine in the society, creating more responsibility and commitment in the government society, in the drowsy society, to create a drowsy society, the dynamic society, resulting in all-round development and happiness.